What is up, everybody? Over Steve here today. So we have to talk about this bizarre post right here where he's like condemning the console war while actually making his like favorite console. He's preventing the console war. He's trying to condemn the console war by actually console warring and say which consoles are winning the console war. But then it's just a bizarre take overall. So let's get into this post, which just makes zero sense. So he says people are still console warring in 2022. The console war is over. Nintendo has won. It's very odd right there. Sony is uncomfortably in second place and jumping to PC and mobile. Xbox surrendered and became a third-party publisher that still makes optional consoles for more traditional consumers. Why even make a post like this? If you want to say the console war doesn't make any sense or why is it still going, then sure, let's just say that. But this extra stuff just makes no sense. It's just hypocritical because he says he was like the console war, but then he says Nintendo is the best overall. Nintendo has won. I don't know what Nintendo has won. Just because they sell the most consoles doesn't mean they won anything. To be honest, because it's kind of like McDonald's selling the most out of all these different fast food places, all these different restaurants, but McDonald's isn't high quality whatsoever. Or that's even like the time period when like the artist Justin Bieber was really popular and people was going around singing that baby song. It's like, sure, it's popular, but is it really amazing music that he's producing? Like, it's not amazing quality. Like Nintendo, they got some nostalgic titles, some really beloved titles, but it's like once you're like an adult, it's like who was really messing with Nintendo at like that? Like, you want some adult rated themed content to what the video games you're playing at this point. Like, I, I just don't see how anybody can say Nintendo is the leader of this generation or whatever for consoles. So it's like they make okay stuff, but I wouldn't say Nintendo has won anything. It says Sony is uncomfortably in second place. And then it's saying Xbox has surrendered. Like, what? Xbox is still doing pretty well. Xbox is doing it for extremely well. This is like the best generation for Xbox consoles in general. So this just doesn't make any sense. It's like I don't know if he's like a Nintendo fanboy or what. I don't know too much about this guy who posted this, but this just seems ridiculous. Well, let's see what other people got to say about this. Nice fan fiction. Meanwhile, Sony official statement declares they are in a disadvantage against Xbox plus Game Pass. Okay. Without a console war, these streamers and podcast people will be broke, so they keep instigating to keep the war going. I'll give Nintendo one at most. Nobody at CES, Gamescom, S, even your local Best Buy is going to see cutting edge of technology looks at Nintendo. Yeah. It's like they are definitely not innovating in the Nintendo category. It's like they're in their own lane, which is cool. But if you want to see like the best, at least console wise, the best like graphics or like adult rated content for like an older audience, or people my age, you don't want to you choose Nintendo as a main console. It's a cool secondary console, but yeah, it's like I need a mixture of adult content, like stuff that's aimed for my actual age, and you kind of mix in like the childish content or whatever you want to call it, like that, like the I guess like the non-violent content or whatever. And then you need a good mixture. It's like if it's all like Nintendo content, I would probably be bored of gaming, to be honest. But not sure Nintendo has won. Their revenue and profit margins are half that of PlayStation, and this kind of reminds me of the Nintendo Wii generation, where Nintendo was the popular console once again, but actual gamers like wasn't really rocking with Nintendo Wii. It was mostly like people in like retirement homes, grandmas and like aunties. I remember my aunt even had like a Nintendo Wii, and she doesn't even play video games. She just had it because it was the Nintendo Wii Fit, and it was like really popular. So it's kind of like the same situation here, where it's like the actual like core hardcore gamers don't rock with Nintendo like that, but it did a lot in sales, so people say it won that generation. That's kind of the same thing with the Nintendo Switch thing going on right now, but the Switch is a very popular child's toy. It's not a real gaming console. Most of its games can run on an iPhone. I get your point with PlayStation 1 consoles. Nintendo has failed on the home consoles outside the Wii, NES, and SNES. Nintendo runs a handheld game. Docking handhelds were smart AF, but they've been third overall for home consoles. Microsoft has shown their name all over the place. Yeah, if we were to do our personal rankings, not just by sales wise, I would probably put Nintendo third, to be honest. Like what this guy said, Nintendo's probably third because they don't have enough compelling games that I want to play myself that's like aimed for like actual adults. Like, and I don't want to get into that debate too, where it's like, hey, you don't want to play just kitty. I don't know. It was like, I mean, I don't know. I think they're like third overall in my opinion. But I think it's great that they're all still around actually competing though. But I think they're just in their own lane right now. And just to say that they're like the first place in this console thing is kind of just ridiculous. And yet a console with no games, also the PS5 for 5 consecutive months. Yeah, but this guy says Xbox just surrendered now when they're constantly selling consoles like crazy. So doesn't make any sense. Sony has been number one for multiple gens now. Still has sold more consoles than Nintendo and Xbox combined. Hello, Nintendo doesn't even make consoles anymore. They left the market to make the focus on handhelds. You can't even play GTA or Call of Duty or Madden or NBA 2K or Elden Ring on Nintendo. Yeah, that is a major problem Nintendo has. You can't play any of these major third-party games on their platform, which is a big bummer. And occasionally they might give you a crumb of a third-party game, but it's gonna be like on cloud because the Switch is so underpowered. So it's like, so that's the big problem with Nintendo right now. I agree mostly with this. Besides Nintendo winning a war they aren't even in, Nintendo is not even in the running. So why is Sony begging to stop the Activision deal? If you really want to make a non-console war post, don't give places to the console. Someone that owns them all will all know each one does something better than the other. Yeah, they each have their pros and cons. It's like this obviously on all three. They each have their pros and cons. So, LOL, the irony. Nintendo fanboys are the cell juniors of gaming. Okay. You say the first sentence and then proceed to console war facepalm. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. He says no to console war in 2022, but then proceeds to console war. According to the information I just saw, with Sony trying to appeal to the Brazilian government to stop the acquisition of Activision. I think you got your numbers crossed. Okay. Nobody has won or lost to me. Nintendo doesn't even interest me. PC is great, but F that for actual games. PlayStation has phenomenal titles, but I'm not a fan of their multiplayer. Xbox has everything I need for multiplayer and tons of options on top of that. Nintendo isn't winning. LOL, the PS4 still has sold more than a Switch. Yeah, that is kind of true. Now, Xbox became a subscription service company that also sells hardware. Okay. These are some strange comments that these guys are putting up on here. Don't abuse drugs, LOL. Xbox has surrendered. They literally just bought Bethesda and Activision account on PlayStation. Yeah, I wouldn't count that as surrendering. They bought a big company like Activision. So if that's surrendering, then I don't want to see what competing is now. It's over? Nah, it's just getting started. Doesn't Nintendo sell the Switch and toys that are electronic sense for little children? Nintendo has won? The F? Let people console war. If you don't like it, don't engage. Seems simple to me. I like warring, although not to hurt, but it's sure it's fun with friends. Sony won the console market. They are number one and released the most powerful console and the best games. Sony won. This seems like a troll account because he has the one of the employees, the one of the executives or whatever, who got accused of doing something. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into that, but yeah, I think that was just a troll account right there. Nintendo has won. Big joke ever with 720p resolution and slow memory, but yes, Nintendo has won. People are just laughing at this dude's comment. There is no winner, just enjoyment for gamers. Nintendo has a great fan base, but are behind in hardware and fidelity. But it's their choice. If they are happy, no problem. Prices are astronomical on Nintendo for what they offer. Every platform offers different things, not comparable. Yeah, they each got their own pros and cons, to be honest. So that is true. I love Nintendo, but how in the F has it won? Look at sales. Sony dominates every time. I guess maybe first party games sell better on Switch, probably because they are family friendly and stuff. Okay. Anything else? His opinion is pretty much like come from a trash can. Opinion is trash. Yeah. I think it's just foolish just to go by console sales. It's just ridiculous. Sure, you could say they sell more than everybody else, but do the average gamer really want to play Nintendo when they're in their 20s and 30s as the main console? I don't think so. The most idiotic gaming take ever. Hot but true take. They aren't jumping to PC and mobile. Nintendo hasn't had a success since 2006, and they won what? Well, the guy has literally said Nintendo has won, but they're not even close. People are still smoking crack in 2022. The F is he talking about? Console war is over makes a console war tweet. Definitely a lot of hypocrisy in this tweet right here, to be honest. This man is speaking facts. I wouldn't say that's facts. Wow, not alive was told. A lot of people are agreeing with this. What? Yeah, this is kind of bizarre, but yeah. I don't agree with this whatsoever. I don't I don't agree with this whatsoever. I think it's definitely debatable. Which one is doing the best right now is debatable, but definitely want to see your thoughts down below. If you agree with this guy's post, disagree, let me know your thoughts down below. Leave a like for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and peace.